Good morning, everyone. We're here to talk about what happened on November 7th, 2021, approximately 10:58 a.m. Angleton Police Department was requested at North Loop 274 and West Mulberry Street, Angleton, Brazoria County, Texas, in reference to a reckless driver. Angleton Dispatch received several 911 calls about the same vehicle, a blue F-350, which was involved in a crash and left the scene. Initially, Angleton police officers were responding to the hit-and-run crash when they encountered a major vehicle crash that had just occurred in the 1800 block of East Mulberry Street. It was believed that the hit-and-run suspect was involved. The major crash involved a 2019 blue Ford F-350 and a 2017 black Nissan Versa. The Ford F-350 had significant damage to the front end. The Nissan Versa had significant damage to the back end. The Nissan Versa was occupied by a female identified as Carolyn Thomas, date of birth 12/14/1944, who was pronounced deceased on the scene. The Ford F-350 was driven by a male identified as Aaron DeCrane, date of birth 4/24/1993. Witnesses on scene confirmed that DeCrane was the driver of the Ford F-350. Angleton Police Department Investigations Bureau and Texas Department of Public Safety assisted in the investigation. A blood search warrant was issued and DeCrane was transported to UTMB Angleton Danbury campus for a blood draw. Results are pending. DeCrane was placed in custody and transported to the Angleton Police Department, where he was booked in for manslaughter, which is a second-degree felony. He was magistrated by Brazoria County Justice of the Peace, Precinct 2, placed to Richard Davis, and given a $250,000 bond. So, the Angleton Police Department and Texas DPS worked hand in hand to not only contain the scene, block off traffic, but allow our officers to conduct an investigation, a thorough investigation of what exactly had happened. Our CIB was called out and they were able to gather enough information at the scene to positively determine that Aaron DeCrane was responsible for the death of Carolyn Thomas. So we had officers on scene investigating the hit and run as well as the major accident, but we also had officers that were transporting Aaron DeCrane. Were able to get him booked in our city jail without incident. This allowed us to expedite the whole process and get our roadways back open and clear. Something that we could have done better was initially we did not do a press release for a few hours because we wanted to make sure that we had all of the facts and we had the scene contained before we opened the roadway back up and before we had a press release to the public. I know there were several rumors going around as to what had happened, who was involved, and I believe that we could have done a better job by doing an initial press release, maybe not with a lot of information, but just something to let the public know that everything was contained, everything was going to be okay, and that this was an active investigation going on in the area of West Mulberry and the Loop 274. Another area that we possibly could have done better in was the death notifications were sent a little late to the families, and I believe that if we were able to expedite the process, that we would have been able to notify the families sooner and also issued a press release much quicker to the public so that we could keep everybody informed as to what was going on. Other than that, I want to thank the officers for an outstanding job and the professionalism that they had on scene. And I want to thank our chief for going above and beyond and making sure that our officers have everything that we need to conduct a thorough investigation and to make sure that we are giving everything that the district attorney needs to prosecute this case further. Thank you again. I appreciate the time that you took to come to this briefing.